Hey guys, good afternoon. This video is a little bit later than it typically is because today is Sunday, and Sunday for me and the family is usually an off day. With the circumstances recently, I really feel like every day is kind of different. But from a training perspective, again, Sunday is still kind of an off day. So we already got up this morning. Jamie, myself, and the kids went out for a good walk, and that's usually what we'll end up doing on a Sunday: is some kind of physical activity, whether it's a walk or a hike, if you want to call it that, in the trail. And then the other thing that I usually end up doing is just a little bit of extra core work. So that's actually what we're going to go over today. And a lot of the core work that we'll be doing here is based off of a plank position. The plank position is huge, something that we use at the Athletic Way a lot. And the core is something that we hone in a ton on at the Athletic Way as well. I'm sure that for all TAW athletes that have been here training, you know that I'm kind of obsessed with the core. And mainly the fact that the core allows us to maintain a good position, not only in the spinal section, but also at the hips. And when that is solidified and locked in, everything else kind of falls into place. And then also the injury prevention perspective of back pain, hip pain, and even further down the chain with ankle or knee, stuff like that. The core is really kind of your base, and that's why it's called your core. So what we're gonna do today, we're gonna go through a little bit of a sequence here. You're gonna feel some good burn here, abdominal wise. We shouldn't feel this in the back, so if you do, then we know that we've probably lost position. And when I say lost position, a lot of times what we're end up talking about is that we fall into an anterior tilt at the hip or an overextension at the low back. Okay, so our main goal is, can we think about pulling the zipper up towards the rib cage and trying to keep the hips and the ribs kind of locked down together, or the hip coming up towards the rib cage, again, locked in together. Okay, so we're going through a couple different movements, and you can kind of actually sequence these together in probably a 3 to 5 set fashion, moving right from one thing to the other. The other great thing about plank positional work is that you're getting a ton of shoulder girdle work. So for us who are trying to solidify a shoulder, especially some of my athletes, so baseball players, lacrosse players, anything where we're trying to use that shoulder girdle at high velocity and shoulder joint, the plank stuff is a very good thing just to get some extra stability within that joint. Okay, so the first one is actually not a plank, but it's from a quadruped position, which is kind of a hybrid of a plank anyway. We're gonna go with the bird dog. I'm just gonna show you this, and then I'm actually gonna show you the bear dog after that. So the bird dog is here, abs are staying on, trying not to let that hip shift. And one of the things I always say is try to imagine a glass of water or any other precious liquid, whatever you want to think about, on that low back. Do not let that glass of water spill. Okay, if that's easy, feels good, locked in, go to the bear dog. So knees are off the ground. Go forward again. So now you have less contact surface with the ground. Okay, and here guys, let's go for 8 to 10 reps per side. Come from there. Okay, next is our plank. Okay, so you can either go straight up plank here, locking this in for about 30 seconds, or we can go for what's called an RKC plank. Okay, so this is to develop extra tension in that core. I'm thinking about driving my elbows towards my toes, trying to crush the ground together without letting the body change. So here we go right now, boom, elbows are driving towards my toes. You might hear a little shake in my voice. I'm getting some extra tension in the core. Hold for about 10 seconds, and then you can break. When you break, either go regular plank, or you can go knees down. About 10-second break, get up again, drive those elbows towards those toes. Boom, again, 10 seconds, break. We're gonna do one more set of 10 seconds here. Okay, boom, up, drive those elbows towards the toes, and let that back shift. And good 10 seconds there. From there, guys, we're gonna go into a plank row. Okay, so push-up position, we're gonna row, not let the hips shift or drop down. Again, 10 reps per side here. Okay, push that floor away with that down arm, so there's some shoulder girdle stability there. Okay, after you get 10 per side there, guys, you're gonna go into a T-plank switch here. So T-plank, rotating up, side plank position, hips stay high towards the ceiling at all times. Again, pushing that floor away. Again, just to make this easy, let's go 10 per side here. Okay, so let's say you got those 10 per side. From there, guys, we're actually gonna go right into our mountain climber. So here again, weight is over your hands, so shoulders are right up over the hands. Knee comes up right underneath the hip. You're gonna switch over here. You can go either 20 seconds here, or let's go 20 reps per side. Okay, so 1 rep per side here, so it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so you go for 20 reps per side there, guys. Go from there, okay? The other piece of core work here is we're actually gonna do some bridge work. Core is 360 degrees, guys. We've been working a lot of the anterior and lateral core with the first movements here. Now we're gonna drop into posterior core here, okay? So abs are on the bridge up here, guys. You're gonna lift one leg and a bridge. So single leg bridge, push that forward leg, get nice and high. Okay, gotta go 10 per side here, guys, other side. Again, between this and the first few exercises, we should be able to catch our breath a little bit here. Okay, from there, guys, dead bug. So we're doing the back, bridging out, breathe out, so get all of your air out, keep the ribs and the hips nice and connected, back flat to the floor, come back, breathe out. Here, guys, you probably go about 6 per side, 8 per side. One more time just to show that. Go from there. All right, guys, cool. So we just went through that sequence. So you can start with your bird dog or bear dog, depending on how you feel. Keep the knees on the ground or elevating the knees up, okay? You can go for a regular plank or an RKC plank, okay? So about 10-second holds on that RKC plank, 3 times through that. Come up to a push-up position. You can go for your plank row, okay? So coming off of that, guys, 10 per side. Go into your T-plank switch, so push-up position, rotating that T-plank switch, 10 per side there, okay? Then we're gonna go ahead and drop down on the back side, so we can do that posterior chain, single leg bridge, and then that dead bug to finish off. You can cycle through that sequence, again, anywhere between 3 and 5 times. You can also put some time on the clock, say, hey, I got 15 minutes. I'm just gonna cycle through that extra work for 15 minutes. Again, the whole goal there, guys, try to make sure the hips and ribs stay connected at all times. You shouldn't feel any pressure in the back. If you do, you've probably lost that position and the hip is dropped down or the rib cage is popped up. Just make sure you get that back, okay? Okay, you should feel some burn here. You're gonna feel some burn in the shoulder girdle, which is a good thing. We're just getting some extra work so then when we get back to our Monday and we're getting back to some after some either squats or deadlifts or anything, there's a little more higher intensity. We've really kind of reinforced that position with that core. Okay, guys, so have a good day. Have a great Sunday. We'll be back with some more content tomorrow.